So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. It's another overcast and rainy day here today in Pennsylvania. Yesterday it rained almost the entire day. Now this morning just kind of overcast, but I think around noon today it's supposed to rain a bunch more. We were going to go flintlock hunting this morning, but we decided to saw some lumber instead, and then probably tomorrow I think the weather kind of straightens out a little bit. Levi, he's over there filling some more IBC totes up. We're trying to get as much done as we can before the rain comes back in, but it just will not freeze up this year. Just doesn't seem to want to do it. Now, we had some snow late in November, early December. Not a lot of snow, and we had some cold days, but the last couple weeks it just hovers right around the freezing mark. I would like to see it get cold and freeze up. I've got a whole bunch more of this red oak and some white oak over at the neighbors to get out, but I won't be able to do that until it freezes up. And I was thinking the other day, this is kind of odd for December to be this warm, but I remember years ago when I used to plow snow, I did a Lowe's store. I would plow and salt that whole parking lot myself. It was about 7 acres of asphalt to take care of. But I remember one year in particular, it must have been in the 90s, I never even salted that parking lot until like the January 3rd. And that was pretty rare. But usually this time of year we have some snow, a little bit colder. I wish it would just kind of make up its mind one way or the other. But this log here I have on the mill, like I said, it's red oak. And this one is kind of a tweener. It's only, it's about 15.5 inches in diameter. I'll get some pretty, I'll get a decent amount of lumber out of this. Those ones that are around 13 inches, kind of borderline, they could go for firewood or lumber, because like on all these hardwoods, you cut this center out, end up with like a 4x4 in the middle because it's real prone to checking and cracking. But we should get a decent amount of nice lumber out of this. There are a few knots on this one. This was the first log on a smaller oak. Now I've got several over there that are like this size right here. This is a dandy right here, about 25 inches in diameter. Get a lot of lumber out of this one right here. But anyway, I got it all clamped down and centered up, ready to go. Let's fire up the mill, and we'll see what it looks like on the inside. So Levi's learning how to run the mill. What do you think?
I love it.
You ran it a little bit before,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just a lot to remember. But once it becomes like muscle memory, it's no big deal.
Right.
And what I did, I got this one squared up. So he's just making some cuts now. But we were going over a few things like the stops over on this side. You know, I'll show you the gauge on the back of the mill. It shows you when the blade would hit those stops. You know what I mean? And you always got to pay attention to that. But yeah, this oak's pretty nice. It's not, you know, it's not the best. Brush some of that off of there.
Yeah.
Like I said, this log was only about 15 inches in diameter, and we're getting some nice boards out of it. We'll get a few more that are 10 3/4, 10 1/2. We'll take a couple more off, look at it, probably flip it over. Probably have to flip it 2 more times. You keep working around that center of the log. I don't know if you saw, Levi, you were loading the basket over there, but you always want to center this log up. So what I do, I put it on the mill. I like to put the small end at that end of the mill, and then measure up from the rails to the center here. Make sure it's the same over there, and then you're good to go. After you get it squared up and you flip it that 180 though, you've got to do it again. And if you keep doing that, once you're done, the center of this log, the pith, will be one little 4x4 or whatever you end up with at the bottom there, at the middle. And that's kind of like waste wood. We just use it for firewood. Now, see how we're starting to get into some knots right here?
Yeah.
We're getting close to that center, so we could get a few wider boards, but if we flip this one turn, we'll get some more clear boards off of this side right here.
Okay.
Now you see how clear those 2 boards were?
Yeah.
We'll take one more off and then we'll flip it. All right, we got quite a bit of lumber out of that one little log right there. Like I said, it was only 15 inches in diameter. So a couple things, you did really good. I think the most challenging thing is getting the speed right.
Yeah.
And this thing has a power feed, but there's a rope over there, and it gets a little quirky sometimes. But you notice the wider the log is, the slower the mill wants to go. I asked him if he wanted to wear the headphones, and he will start wearing them. He just didn't want to do it now because he's trying to listen to the engine.
Right.
But you want to maintain the same speed, and you just have to listen to the engine. You don't want to saw too slow. You just get a feel for it.
Yeah.
What
Makes sense. I think what I struggled with was like when it was real wide, I knew how hard I'd push, and in my mind I would want to push the same, but wasn't what I was supposed to do because it was more narrow. So.
Yeah, we're down to 5-inch wide boards. A big
Right.
difference compared to the big ones.
Yeah.
But it does. It blows right through it. But other things to always look out for, you know, when you tighten these clamps down, make sure these rods are down, make sure the stops are down. I mentioned the other day, I have not hit one yet. Probably shouldn't have said that. But there's just little things. The next one that we do, I'll show you, and you already know how, but we'll go over how to level up the log and all that kind of stuff and get it ready to go. But it's a lot of fun. It is.
It's really satisfying, and like I always find this stuff so interesting. You know, I mean, these things just grow out of the ground. It's crazy, and how heavy they are, and yeah, and you look at the grains of them and everything. It's really fascinating, I think.
And red oak is for a dense, heavy wood, it's amazing how fast it grows. It really is. This stuff, these ones, that big one over there, I think 75 years old.
Wow.
That big one.
That's amazing. It's really cool.
But yeah, so we got a log sawed before it rained. You got a basket load of wood filled. Why don't you head up and get the leaf blower? We'll clean this up.
Sounds good.
All right, now you got to take the tension off the blade. You take it the whole way down to 0. There's a gauge on it over there. There's been a lot of times where I get everything cleaned up and I finish up and I go up to the house and I remember I didn't do this and come back down. All right, that worked out pretty good. That was your first official lesson. You've run it a little bit before, but just a lot of little things to pay attention to. I'm no expert at it, but I know enough to make nice lumber and not break anything. And I'm not the fastest, but I'm not usually in a big hurry anyway. When you get in a hurry with this is when you're going to get into trouble.
Right.
But what'd you think?
Oh, I liked it a lot. Yeah, like I said, it's satisfying, and I'm picking up on there's a lot of like a big checklist, you know, before you run it each time of what you do first, what you look for, all the possibilities of things that could be in the way. So I like that though. You know, I like details. So
yeah, and once you run it more, you just get more and more comfortable. It's like anything else. But anyway, it's going to rain here soon, and you got to go ship some more shirts. So if anybody's interested in a shirt, there will be a link in the description, and Melissa's coming out with a new design here probably in the next week or 2. But anyway, I think that's it for today's video. Like I always say, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like button, click subscribe, and share them with your friends. Thanks.